Now if you look at the trading over here, you can see that we don't have any uniformity. The tops are very erratic. You have a couple of days of fall volume or full volume, but then you have 2 days where the volume is erratic and a third day where the volume is erratic, and so on. You can see that these levels are just simply not uniform to the same degree that they are here and here. By seeing this uniform formation, we can then look at the price bars with an eye for high volume. In other words, the volume across these days here and these days here was sustained at high levels. The important fact is that the volume is consistent over the days, and it's not erratic like you can see over here. So we have step number 1, which is a topping pattern coming into the market. You notice that I placed this earlier as this M formation. Very common. That's our first clue. Then what we look for is the volume. Do we have multiple days inside of this M top that indicate a sustained high volume? And we do. We see that across these 3, possibly even 4 sessions here. Is the market at a new high? Yeah, it's at a relative new high. Now the next thing we want to look for are shooting stars. Now remember, a shooting star is nothing more than a market that has formed a higher high and closed down off of the high. Now some traders look for this bar to be down, some traders look for this bar to be up. What's more important is that you're seeing this shooting star formation at this relative new high with the sustained high volume, with the bars closing above the 50%. We shouldn't focus so much on whether the shooting star has closed up or down, and whether the shooting star closes up or down does not make or break this overall pattern. Next, we look for doji bars. The reason why we're going to look for a doji bar is this. If this bar has high volume, it speaks, if you'll pardon the pun, volumes about what's going on. Now, the common idea is that the doji bar means indecision. But I would say that the doji bar means committed decision. I mean, if you think about it, that in order for the market to stand still, like it does here, that at the end of the day, the net effect is most of the buyers were teamed up with most of the sellers. There just wasn't an imbalance during the day. Now that seems to be pretty committed to me. That every time a seller stepped forward, there was a buyer either waiting or a buyer came in immediately to take his order. And the opposite, every time a buyer came in to buy in the market, a seller immediately stood up and said, "I'll take it." Now that seems like a lot of very committed people. So if it doesn't mean indecision and it means commitment, then what does all of it mean? Well, if we put it into context, that the market's at a high, that we have markets closing in their upper 50% with sustained high volume, and we can see that the market isn't breaking out to new highs, now we can gain and glean a better picture. Now, let me review something very quickly. You can see here the Euro Swiss on what's called the market view or the market montage in eSignal. Now as I freeze the screen, you can see that there are brokers here: FXCM, GAIN,